This piece of crap is called fossil fuel. In a common sense, it can be represented as three separate entities: coal, gas and oil. This type of fuel accounts for 85% of energy consumption in a world. Not saying much, you're now watching this video from a phone or computer, which not only consume electrical energy from this fuel, but also consist of it. Phone cases, screens, PC cases, even mousepads are all made from oil. When you're looking for the information at the borderline between energy and ecology, two signs are immediately poked in your face. Fossil fuels are evil, and green energy is cool. Commonly that's true. 73% of CO2 emissions belong to the power industry. The power industry is dirty, unsustainable and dangerous. Moreover, 97% of scientists agree that the global warming is at the door. Stop. Put down your eco leaflets. What about alternative opinion? I mean, let's do some research. Alex Epstein is considered one of the biggest opposers to the global warming, so he doesn't really deny it. He has a book called The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels, in which author claims, foaming at the mouth, that fossil fuel is the cheapest, most abundant and reliable source of energy. In essence, thanks to coal, human civilization standed on its feet. The mortality rates decreased seemingly, and everyone has warmth and water in their houses. Thanks to coal, we can sit at home and watch Netflix while there is a thunderstorm outside. Nowadays, weather has influence not on our health, but on our mood. While the nearest thermal station burns coal, we can live, create and flourish. Epstein is putting emphasis onto the prosperity of human, so technology and nature must serve our development, but not otherwise. However, some ultra-green, as for example voluntary human extinction movement, claim that nature first, and the only way to serve the earth is literally to voluntarily delete humanity. What a nonsense. Fossil energy is a servant of mankind. All its negatives are fully compensated by the pros, which we are enjoying. Green energy is not becoming green because of its name. To produce solar panels, we spend dozens of non-renewable material, like polysilicon, which requires 580 kilowatts of electric energy to produce 1 kilogram of mass. This would be enough to travel from Kiev to Paris on one Tesla charge. At the same time, solar panel life cycle is only 15 to 20 years. The question is, where will we throw the trash? In the head of a windmill there are huge electromagnets made out of neodymium, which is extremely toxic in production. In China, near the city of Baotou, neodymium factory pollutes the groundwaters by the radioactive waste on everyday basis. Any source of energy is non-ecological, except I guess thermal stations in Iceland. Green generation is non-energy efficient and intermittent. We cannot focus solely on it. The sun sometimes does not shine, the wind does not blow, but factories and hospitals work around the clock. We cannot store energy in such quantities, since electric batteries are also not environmentally friendly. Still, we cannot live without fossil fuels, as they keep the energy systems in balance. Recently you have heard the main arguments from the book. Now let's move on to the counter-arguments. So firstly, what is human well-being? Does drinking coffee in the morning justify the environmental damage from the creation of the drink? Of course not. The consumer society uses resources irrationally and hides behind the fact that this is the only way to ensure the maximum prosperity of mankind. As cover arguments, stories are given that children are dying in some Pakistani hospitals due to the lack of affordable electricity. Pretty emotional, right? But at the same time, in the same Pakistan, the Nestle company cuts off access to clean water for residents, bottles it and sells to the same residents at a margin, thereby extensively and without any reason uses excess energy resources. This is how the market works. Unfortunately, the question of the rationality of the use of energy resources is rather philosophical. How can we determine what is rational and what is not? To do this, we need to write the Bible of rationality. Secondly, we cannot rely solely on fossil fuels forever. Yeah, technologies are developing, it is possible to burn cleaner and to mine deeper, but resources are not endless. As a result, humanity will have to find a way out. Any adequate power engineer will tell you that the energy system must be diversified. This greatly increases its reliability. There should be nuclear power plants and thermal power plants and windmills and hydroelectric power plants, etc. I fully understand why Epstein has taken such a critical stance. If you don't take a critical stand, no one will listen to you. The author strongly hypes in the first chapters of this radical book. But at the same time, by the end of the book, a rational grain appears in his thoughts. In essence, all the Greens are screaming about negative effects of fossil electricity. No one even thinks to analyze the pros. The author is right that any energy issue must be considered from all sides. Less populism, more research. There's no morality in the issue of using fossil fuels. It is a matter of survival and our evolution. That's how it happened historically. My position is simple. Yeah, we need energy to survive. This is what we will die without. But at the same time, mankind extensively uses energy resources to consume unnecessary goods and services. It is impossible to list all of these at once, but states must come to a deal to set limits, such as phasing out conventional light bulbs in Europe, for example. With small steps, we will come to a wonderful future. Any model, no matter what we build, will eventually run into the fact that we are not able to imagine what technology or energy resource will be created even in the next 5 years. Therefore, any forecast is bullshit. Do you know what plan will never fail? The plan that does not exist. You can debate for hours about the sustainability of fossil fuels, but how will your life change if the lights suddenly turn off?